Every year, The Athletic releases an NHL prospect pool ranking, and in this video, we're going to try to predict where they are for the 2023 season. As always, hit that subscribe button, don't miss a video. We're at 995 subscribers, 5 short of 1,000. Let's do it. Hit that subscribe button now. One other piece of housekeeping, I might look a little puffy and red. I've got a red mark here, and just look tired and a little bit out of breath. I just shoveled my driveway for like the third time in the last, I don't know, 12 hours or something like that. It's been snowing like crazy here in Ottawa, and the plow just came by, so it's like that really hard, compact snow. Either way, I'm a little tired and a little out of breath, but just so you know. In this video, we're going to try to predict where the Islanders prospect pool ranking within all 32 NHL teams will be for 2023. And now, before I just spit out a number and just like, random guess, throw a dart, I think it'd be important to look at last year to give us a frame of reference of where they can be this year. Right? Where were they and where could they be now? I think is an important part of the discussion, specifically to start with. So I'm going to pop it up on the screen here if I can find my mouse. There it is. Last year, the Islanders were 27th in the NHL out of 32 teams. So while not the worst, they weren't very far off. And while there's a few reasons for that, obviously, the main one or the chief reason for that is that they made some deep runs in the playoffs. And to help them do so, they sacrificed some of their future in first round selections. And of course, those first round picks would still be late round draft picks. There's still value to be had, significant value to be had in the late first round that could boost a ranking quite high. Because the Islanders didn't do that, well, that's why they're a little bit low. We also have to factor in some of the players that might graduate out of this ranking. While we might all have our own version of who should be considered a prospect and who is not, Scott Wheeler has a specific definition. And so I think it's important to take that in consideration before predicting where they could be this year, because you might have to take some key pieces out before you start making the mental arithmetic to figure out where they might be. So I'm going to show Scott Wheeler's criteria here, and I understand Athletic is behind a paywall, but I'm not showing the entire thing. I really just want to frame the discussion around that. And so if the Athletic has an issue, they'll let me know and I'll take it down. But here's the criteria for Scott Wheeler's prospect rankings. And so first and foremost, be under 23 years old. That's going to be a problem with us because Noah Dobson is 23 years old. Not to be a full-time NHLer, that's basically is the same thing as that in terms of a problem for us. Whereas Noah Dobson is definitely a full-time NHLer. And then either be signed to an NHL contract or selected in the entry draft, so on and so forth. That's basically just saying like you can't just have like some random guy there. Anyways, the first two are the real big ones here that I think is going to be a problem for us, specifically when it comes to Noah Dobson, who was the number one ranked prospect last year for the Islanders. He now graduates out. And so this could be a problem for the Islanders. Except as it stands now, the Islanders aren't going to be any worse than they were last year. So far, Scott Wheeler has released a few rankings. He's gone all the way up to 28, and he's gone Colorado, Tampa Bay, Boston, Pittsburgh, and Vancouver. The Islanders have not dropped. They've either treaded water or gotten better in terms of the quality of their prospect pool relative to the rest of the NHL. And you're going to say, how? How is that possible? How have they not fallen down if we've taken Noah Dobson out of the equation entirely? I haven't seen Scott Wheeler's ranking yet because that hasn't come out. The only thing I can think of, and this is the argument I'm going to make for the Islanders, not only treading water, but improving at least a couple of spots, is they've got a lot of really interesting prospects that may not have the value of like a top 10 prospect, but the cumulative strength of these lower ranked prospects all being interesting or, maybe factor at the NHL level at some point really boosts their ranking up. I know we don't always like looking at spreadsheets, but I've got my spreadsheet here of a couple of prospects that I think boost the Islanders ranking from last year. And obviously Alex Jeffries makes the list if I can find my mouse. There we go. And so we got Samuel Bolduc, who's at a 21 NHLE. He was at 4 last year. That's a difference of plus 17 over a year. Quinn Finley, while only drafted this year, has already gone up by 5. Alex Jeffries, that's the one that I'm most interested in. While Semyon Budzik took a big jump, we kind of knew that he was capable of this. Alex Jeffries earning another 8 NHLE points over last year is excellent because he's gone year over year. Alex Jeffries has improved for Merrimack as we've seen before. Like year over year, this kid is getting better and he's adding to his NHLE. This is going to be a hell of a player at least next year at the pro level, at the AHL level, I would imagine, for the Bridgeport Islanders. And from there, we got Etuliukas +7, Alex Lundkrans +7. I don't think he's going to factor as much, but I wanted to keep that in there because anything over 5 NHLE I think is relevant. But this is a guy that I've harped on him for a while in a positive way. Etuliukas has been a hell of a player. I think he's got NHL potential when it comes to being a fourth liner for the New York Islanders, and we all know how much they love their fourth liners. And so the fact that he's added 7 points to his NHLE by moving to HBK and being more of an offensive player, love it. Double chef's kiss on that one. But those are the guys who are going to boost our rankings in terms of from last year. But then you got to consider the guys we've added. So we got the Quinn Finley already we talked about, but the other guys that the Islanders drafted last year. Kaliudelius, prospect scouts love this guy. So he's already going to boost their ranking because he wasn't there last year. Isaiah George, another guy who's wildly impressive. He doesn't put up a lot of points. That's just not his game. He plays more of an Adam Pelech controlling the D zone type of game. Really, really good at it and a hell of a skater to boot. So that already helps. Matthew Maggio is just killing the OHL this year and is going to continue killing it with Shane Wright. And then Dylan Kefler's 6th-round pick is also killing the WHL and just going to continue doing so. And so your 2022 draft class is going off this year. It really, really is. It's been a hell of a draft class. So you add that to what the Islanders already have in Aatu Räty, who's just going to get a whole lot better. William Zuffel, Russ Nishikov, both of them already impressing at the pro level this year. And you add what we had or what we gained this year at the draft. And I think the Islanders end up 25th overall in the Athletics ranking. Now, I understand going from 28 to 25 isn't a massive jump, but it's still a jump, right? And right now with all the negativity, and rightfully so, around the Islanders, when this prospect ranking came out, or the prospect pool rankings came out, I was like, oh, God, it's going to be like 30th overall, isn't it? And it's not. It's at least not falling back. I think it's going to be 25th, and that's because of some sound drafting by Lou Lamoriello and his scouting staff. So all credit to them when this ranking finally does come out, because it didn't get worse last year. In fact, I think it's going to get a little bit better. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it. We're at $9.95. And if you have already, thank you, thank you, thank you.